Hi everyone, it's Cassie. Welcome back to my channel. Sorry in advance for the background noise in the video. They're trimming. My house is kind of in the woods, and I guess the city is trimming all the trees along the street. So hopefully it's not too overpowering and loud and annoying, but yeah, it's just kind of one of those things I can't really control. Okay, so I have a flip through for you guys. Yesterday I made this journal, and it was just one of those things where I started making something and it just kind of flowed right out of me. And this is going to be my next personal journal, because my journal that I got from Amy Floshy May Cottage is almost full. It's pretty chunky, and I only have just a few pages left in the back of the journal, so I wanted to prepare myself for moving into my next journal. So I wanted to do a flip through for you guys and just show you kind of how I put this one together. So like my journal that I got from Amy, it is a quilted cover. So I got these from her shop, these quilt pieces. And I had two that were kind of small, like too small to use for a journal, and I don't really do much slow stitching. So, I mean, I do it occasionally, but, anyway, so I wanted to use the pieces for a journal, but neither were quite large enough for a journal by themselves. So I just stitched them together with like a wide strip of like white cotton on the inside and outside. And yeah, so then I added the pages just like it was just one large piece. And then also on the outside, on the spine, I wanted this narrow lace ribbon to tie the journal closed with. So I just added a piece of sari trim as like a loop for the lace to go through, and it kind of holds it in place. I've also attached this vintage doily just in the center of the cover. So it's really simple cover, and really pretty. I love this quilt piece. I'll link Amy's shop in the description box, and also her Instagram, so that maybe you can pick up some too. So inside I have added a piece of, let me just make sure I'm in frame. I've added a piece of vintage linen as just a large pocket on the front and back cover, and inside I've just tucked some things that I thought I might like to use in my journaling. So I love having a big pocket in the front and back of my journal, so that's where that comes from. I used mostly avocado dyed paper with some vintage book page kind of worked in here and there. On the front page, sorry about the dogs barking. On the front page, I made this big envelope flip out. Again, I like to have lots of storage in my journal, but I also don't want to lose my journaling space. So I've just attached that and added a pretty ruffle of fabric here on the front page. Because of the dimensions of the journal, I did not really plan this ahead, but the pages, like, there are no 14-inch wide pages. So, I mean, I guess I could have used legal paper, but I did not have any. So I just made do and kind of stitched together pages. And I love the effect in this journal specifically because it is a quilted journal. And I think that the stitching just like kind of goes with that. So anyway, I've just added on pages like this to make the pages wide enough to fill the journal. Yeah, so vintage book page with some, I guess it's like digital printing. Like, I got this in a Happy Mail and I love it. So if you know how to do this, I have not figured it out, but please in the comments tell me how to do this. I think it's like printed on a vintage book page. But yeah, I'd love to know how to do that. And then here I've just put in this tip-in. I got this from Boho Tree. Like, she included it in one of my packages that I got from her. But I just did not want to use it on a journal for sale, and I loved it so much, so I just added it into this journal as a big tip-in so I can journal behind, and it just covers it up like that. Journaling space here. This is from a vintage Sears catalog, and it was one that I had pulled for a journal, but I kind of ripped the page, so I just did a repair on the page and included it here. Yesterday on my Instagram, I posted a Happy Mail that I got from Angela, and she had tucked my necklace and like the little card and everything inside this paper bag, and I literally was finishing this journal and could not find anything that I wanted to finish this specific page with. This was the very last page that I finished, actually. And so I got this envelope, and it just happened to be exactly the right size, and this journal is still very much related to like my personal journey to healing and like recovery from like my divorce and separation from my husband. So I thought, what a perfect place for this bag to be, and it adds in some more of that storage that I really like. And then I've just left it open on the back so that it's like another little pocket there. And then here's a little Peter Rabbit book page, and I wanted this little image of Peter Rabbit to peek out, so that's why I mounted it the way I did instead of trimming evenly on either side so that he would be there. Some more, oh, this vintage lace. My mom picked this up for me. She went on a trip with my dad to Galveston, and they visited an antique mall, and she bought me a ton of vintage and antique laces, and this was one of them, and I just think it's so pretty, and so I wanted to use some in this journal. Some floral illustration, yeah, that I got from Maggie. And then this one I got from Sue. And I just love this image, like, it's so romantic, and, yeah, it's just one of those things, like, I would love to be pursued, like that, and just feel, like, how this image makes me feel. So yeah, I wanted to use this in my journal, too. And then a vintage ledger book page. And then this was also from Sue, and I just love this image of these birds, the parrots, and yeah, so this journal was also very much an experiment for me, in that, like, I used my machine to stitch the pages in, and yeah, it did not go very well. I perforated the pages way too much with my stitching, and so like this one is basically torn, but I figured for my own journal it's okay, like I can just use some washi or something and hold it in. But I had already had to reinforce this page with some brown tape, so yeah, bad outcome of the experiment, but I learned a lot doing it, so now I know in the future to, like, use a wider stitch length or like force the stack through the machine more. Like I kind of let my foot, my presser foot feed it through, and I should have pushed more. Yeah, so the other side of that ledger book page, another big tip in, this was like a scrap of a big vintage, like doily tablecloth. Like it was humongous, and I just love this big flower, so I cut it out and used it here, and it kind of doubles as like a long tab there. Some more journaling space. The other side of that floral book page. This was another page that I got also from Maggie, and I thought it was appropriate for this journal. Forgive. That's the goal, right? And then, yeah, some more journaling space. Another vintage lace. This one I think is just coffee dyed. It may also be vintage, but it's definitely coffee dyed. I think I got that in a Happy Mail too. Just lots of journaling space at the end. Like my journal that I got from Amy is so chunky by the time I'm getting to the back of the book that I just wanted to include a lot more like just writing space in this one. And again, I wanted the image of this tree, like growth and life, I guess, to show. So that's how I mounted this book page. And then this is just a poem that I really liked. More journaling space here. This is more journaling space. Which I have this Smash book. I don't know if you guys know about Smash books, but I found one in a thrift store a while back, and I've just been pulling out pages that I liked and using them in journals like this. Because they usually have like really fun decorative pages, but lots and lots of writing space, which I love. And I just left the back where I added the Smash book page open. So it's really a sturdy page, and I just added, or made a big pocket out of it. And then in the back, again, with the big pocket, I've just tucked in some wallpaper scraps, some, like a vintage photo, a little encouragement card. This was my card that I got from Maggie when she sent me a lot of the papers that I used in this journal. So I wanted to keep this with this journal. And then just some little scraps that I might use in my journal. So that's it, guys. That's this journal. This is, again, my next journal that I'm going to be moving into once I've finished off the one that I'm working on now. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. And for sure, if you like this video, I try to do at least one video on my YouTube channel a week. So hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in my next video.